Koto. Today I'm going to be getting into the nitty-gritty of how to correctly fit a whitewater helmet. So, one of these bad boys. But before we get into how to fit them, we should probably have a chat about why we wear them in the river to begin with. So, we wear them when we're kayaking or rafting to protect our head from potential impact, mainly from rocks. This could be if you capsize, especially if you're in a shallow river, or even just falling over when you're running along a riverbank. A helmet can absorb a substantial amount of impact. It can actually reduce potential brain and head injury by about 70%, which I think is pretty damn cool. We've also got to keep in mind that having a blackout on the river from a concussion could potentially drown you, so they can literally save your life. So I think they're pretty damn useful to wear on the river. A helmet works best when it's worn correctly. So the first step of helmet fitting is to make sure your helmet fits your head. Some helmets, like this one, will have an adjustment thing at the back. Some of these can be quite fitly, and some of them, like this climbing helmet swivel, can be quite simple. You can see it adjusts the frame. Some helmets don't have any adjustment, like this helmet. If you're choosing a helmet from a pool that don't have any adjustments, it's really important that we make sure it fits correctly. So, to see if it fits correctly, I should be able to put it on my head and shake my head without the chin strap done up, and it shouldn't move very much at all. Nice and tight. The next step is I want to be able to fit maximum of 2 fingers between my eyebrows and the top of the helmet. This protects my forehead and my temple. If I had it too far back, it would expose my forehead, and if you fell over, you could potentially have an injury like this one. So, the third step is to adjust the chin strap. You want to make sure that you can fit no more than 2 fingers underneath and that it's not twisted. You don't want to do it up so tight that it kind of chokes you and affects your ability to breathe. The next step is making sure that your ears are underneath the padding in the middle, or on some helmets that don't have as much padding around the ears, they might have straps that create a triangle, kind of like on this climbing helmet. If your helmet is like this, you want to make sure that the bottom of your earlobe is above the buckle and adjust it so that both sides of the triangle are even. This will make sure your helmet fits evenly on your head. Lastly, we want to make sure we put on the helmet the correct way to begin with. So it should look like this and not like that. I'm going to show you guys a bunch of photos of helmets on incorrectly, and I want you to try and figure out what's wrong with each. Each photo might only be on the screen for a couple of seconds, so feel free to pause it and look longer if you need. Alright, so there's one more thing I want you guys to be thinking about with helmets, and that is checking for helmet damage. So at the start of each trip, when you're putting your helmet on or handing out helmets to others, just make sure you check over it for physical signs of damage such as cracks or maybe tears on the internal structure. And if you are involved in a high impact accident on the river, make sure you retire that helmet. Even if you can't see any physical strains, there could be a lot of internal damage that you can't see, and that's the stuff that really protects and absorbs impact. So, what I want you guys to do now is practice putting your helmet on correctly so it becomes natural. You can do it blindfolded, all that kind of stuff. And then I want you to give a helmet to everybody else in your isolation bubble and fix everything that they do wrong. As usual, there's a little printout step-by-step guide along the bottom somewhere if you prefer to carry around a resource rather than watching a video over and over again. Sweet! That's it for this tutorial. Happy kayaking!